Hello, my name is Mark. Welcome to my home. This is my 2015 Tab Max S trailer. Today we're going to talk about some emergency equipment here. This is your carbon monoxide and CO2 detector. There are two alarms inside your trailer. There's this one down low, and there is a smoke detector up high. We'll talk about that, but these guys go bad about every 5 to 7 years or so, and so we're going to talk about how to remove it, how to replace it. It's no big deal, but we'll go ahead and give you that. Also going to talk about, again, some problems with how New Camp has implemented this in our trailer. So it's freezing out here in the middle of winter. It's 10 degrees inside my trailer. You can see by the snow that's still on the ground. I'm going to show you real quick. Let's get this guy off the wall here, off the cabinet, and take it inside where we can talk about this and the rest of the issue. First thing you need is a little straight blade screwdriver. There are 3 slots, 1, 2, and 3. Stick your screwdriver in this middle slot. See that? Let me see if I can get you a little closer there. Stick it in that first slot and pull down with it. That takes the front cover off. Then there are four screws. They are the typical little flat screws. So we're going to take those 4 off, and this guy will pull out. Inside the cabinet, you'll need to remove these 6 screws here on the top to take this cover off so that you can get to the wiring. No big deal. Let's go ahead and get this off and get in the house where I'm not so cold. See you in a bit. Hello, welcome back inside. Much warmer here. So let's start at the top. This is an Atwood 36636. It's the industry standard. It's the workhorse. Very common, very popular. It's very robust, works great. If you have a propane or a carbon monoxide sensor in your trailer, you probably have one of these. They are industry standard, but they are mission critical. Your life depends on this. There are lots of people who die from carbon monoxide poisoning in their trailer and fires caused by propane leaks, that kind of thing in these trailers. So this is mission critical. I make this video because there's a lot of false information surrounding these guys. And since this is mission critical, it's a life-saving device, it's important that we quash as many of those false urban legends as we can and give you factual information about this. So in the last segment, we talked about how to open this so that you can take it off your trailer by inserting a straight blade screwdriver in this slot and pulling down, just gently lifting the bezel off. Then in these holes, you've got these screws. Now this is as far as you need to take it apart to get it off your trailer, but we're going to go deeper inside so that we can explain some things that are going on and help you understand some of the false information that's floating around these CO detectors. So if you want to get into it farther, there's a tab here on the left. There's a tab here on the right. Put your thumb on one of the tabs, put your middle finger on the other, and gently squeeze together. At that point, the cover will lift off. This is the inside of the sensor. Now, first thing, when people look in here, you see this is the alarm assembly. This is the speaker that actually makes the beeping sounds. People see this device here and they think that that is a battery backup. That is not a battery backup. Looks like a battery, shaped like a battery, but this is actually, it's a TGS 5042. It is the carbon monoxide detector itself. That's not a battery. That's the carbon monoxide detector. It's got chemicals inside it. It's a can a lot like a battery. That's why it looks like a battery. It's got chemicals inside it that react with the air inside here that can tell the processor what's going on. So this is not a battery backup. When your trailer is disconnected from 12 volts, let's say you go inside and you turn the battery off, this is not functioning. In fact, this is the manual for this guy, and I'm going to leave a link in my description to get this manual. You really need to read it. There are some really cool things going on inside that you need to know about. So let's start at the beginning. If that's not a battery, how would we operate this? How could we give this a battery backup? Well, when you took it apart, you notice, we took it out of your trailer, you notice that you have 3 wires there, a black wire and 2 red wires. Well, the black wire is easy, that's ground, but there are, in fact, 2 red wires here. This detector can be installed in 2 modes. One is called single wire mode, and the other is called dual wire mode. In a dual wire mode, these would not be connected together to your trailer. They would be independent. One of them would go directly to your battery, no switch, just directly to the battery and through a 1 amp fuse, and the other would hook to your trailer's 12 volt system. The idea with that is that if your trailer were disconnected from street power, or if you turned the battery switch off, this guy would still be operational, right? It wouldn't matter that you're plugged into street power. It wouldn't matter that your trailer battery's turned off. Since this wire connects directly around that battery switch, directly to the battery itself, this guy would always be running. Now, in an ideal world, that's the way it'd be installed. But there's another way to install it, and that's the way that New Camp installed it. They just connected the battery backup line and the 12 volt supply line together and hook it to your trailer. Well, what does that mean for you in your trailer? If you read through the manual, this detector can run, and it works just fine, anywhere between 16 volts and 8 volts. If it drops below 8 volts, he turns off. He goes into what's called storage mode. He will not detect carbon monoxide. He won't detect propane. He won't detect anything. He's actually off. So your trailer has to be somewhere between 16 volts and 8 volts. And we'll talk about this in a bit. So the first wives' tale we'd like to get around is there is no battery backup here. If your trailer is turned off, if your battery is below 8 volts, you get no protection from carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. It is off. This is not a battery, and it is not keeping your system up. If you want a battery backup, you've got to rewire it in a way that you could create a battery backup. So let's talk about the sounds. People often talk about hearing chirping coming out of here. Well, this detector, he can make 5 different sounds. It beeps and it waits, and it beeps and it waits. So you might hear it one day making a single beep, like beep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, beep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, beep. That's a beep waited by 5 seconds and another beep. That's called a single beep. Now, if you look in the manual, it tells you exactly what those beeps are and what they mean. It can make a single beep, it can make 1 beep, 2 beeps, 3 beeps, 4 beeps, or 6 beeps. No 5 beeps. So some people claim that they hear their their carbon monoxide detector making a single beep. Well, like I said before, if your trailer falls below 8 volts, this guy's off. So having a dead battery in your trailer will not make this single beep. If you have a dead battery in your trailer, this guy will be completely off. So that's the first wives' tale we need to dismiss. If your trailer battery is below 8 volts, this guy will not make any sound at all. He's off. He's dropped into power conserve mode, and he doesn't make any beeps or any sound at all. So if you look at a manual, if you hear one beep followed by some silence and another beep, this is error mode. This guy's got a microprocessor in him, and he's watching the sensors and the other circuitry in here. And if he detects a fault, he will go beep. And so be a wait, beep. If you have that happening, he's detected a fault. You're supposed to press the test button once. If it quiets it, you're good to go. If it continues to single beep, this whole unit is bad and you need to toss it, need to be replaced. They don't say all the different fault modes it can be in, but they do say that if it's making a single beep and you cannot get it to clear by pushing the test button, then it's bad. So it can't make any noise if your trailer's completely off. If it makes a single beep, the unit is bad. There's the next alarm it can make is a dual beep. Beep, beep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beep, beep. 1, 2. That is something called end of life. Now, we've all heard that these guys can only last about 7 years, and that's technically true, but functionally not true. On the back of this guy is a date, and my date is January 10th of 2014. Inside this device is a microprocessor and a clock timer calendar. The 7-year replacement cycle is runtime. Right now, he's not connected to anything. He's not running, so he's not aging out. If I connected this to 12 volts and I left him running for 7 years, in 7 years, he would give you a 2-beep sequence. Beep, 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 and there's nothing you could do. No reset, no turning off, no nothing. He has reached his end of life. At that point, this guy, just like a fault, needs to be thrown out. So even though your date may be, your physical unit may be more than 7 years old, he's not necessarily bad. He'll tell you when he's bad because it's not the age of the unit, it's the runtime of the unit. This guy can run for 7 years. He can last a lot longer than 7 years, but he can only run for 7 years. And he's got a clock and a calendar in there that will actually tell you when he's bad. So you don't need to go in, look at any date, and just start replacing these willy-nilly at 7 years, because most of us don't leave our trailers plugged in year round, right? My particular trailer, it's unplugged for 3-4 months a year. So during those 4 months, it's not aging at all. So fine. And there it comes down to another thing about it. For those of us that have a single wire connection and do disconnect our batteries, this guy's not aging. But if you store your trailer somewhere and you leave it plugged into shore power and you leave your battery connected and this guy's powered up, he will use up his lifetime, right? Does that make sense to you? That if this guy has 12 volts on this line and he just sits idle, he's doing his job and he is aging out. So if you're not going to be in the trailer, if you're not going to be able to be anywhere near to hear the sound, you might as well power your trailer down and save the lifespan of your inverter. So let's go to the next sound that it can make. We talked about 1 beep. We talked about 2 beeps. There's a 3 beeps, and that has to do with power conservation mode. If this guy is, if this voltage is running between 16 and 10 volts, He's 100% ready to go. He's doing his job and everything's cool. You'll get a green LED and you'll get no sound. If the battery voltage in your trailer drops from 16 volts down to 10 volts, if it drops between 10 and 8, if it's getting lower and lower, this guy will move into something called low power mode. And low power mode, he's still operating, still doing everything he needs to do. He's not making any sound, but the LED on the front will move from green to red. That's fine. All he's trying to tell you is your trailer battery is getting low. It's dropped below 10 volts. It's above 8, but below 10. It's between 8 and 10 volts. And he's just moved into low power mode. No big deal. Still doing his job. If the battery moves lower than 8 volts, if it gets between 6 and 8 volts, it'll move into something called power conserve mode. In power conserve mode, he has stopped. He no longer can detect propane or LP. He's not doing his job. However, the LED will move from green to red when it got into low power mode. It'll move to orange, and he will start beeping. 3 beeps, wait, and 3 beeps, and wait, and 3 beeps, and wait. That's when he's gone into power conserve mode. What he's trying to tell you is that I'm no longer working, but I'm trying to warn you that your battery is low. The battery in your trailer is low. He's trying to give you some warning. That's the 3 beep. 1 beep is a fault. 2 beeps is aged out. 3 beeps, your trailer battery is too low. Now, if it drops below 6 volts, this guy will completely shut off. There's not enough voltage there to even tell you that your voltage is low. He just drops out. So that's 1, 2, and 3 beeps. The next beep that it can make is 4 beeps. 4 beeps is an alarm. 4 beeps is telling you that it has detected CO. So it'll go beep, 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 or beep, 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 right? And a wait, and then 4 beeps, and a wait, and 4 beeps. So that means that there's CO in the air, and you should exit your trailer. The next noise it can make is 6 beeps. 6 quick beeps, and that's telling you that there's propane in the air and you need to exit your trailer again. So that's all the sounds that it can make. It can make 1 beep when it's broken, 2 beeps when it's old, 3 beeps when your trailer power is too low, 4 beeps when it's measuring carbon monoxide, 6 beeps when it's making LP. There is no 5 beeps, and I think that was done because it gets hard to count what's the difference between 5 beeps and 6 beeps. So they went from 4 beeps trying to tell you there's carbon monoxide in the air to 6 beeps when there's propane in the air. So there it is in a nutshell. I wanted to straighten that out for you. I highly recommend that you download this manual, and I'll leave a link to the manual. The page 17 on that manual is where the meat is here. That tells you what all these beeps are. So in a nutshell, the age, unless you've got this running 24/7, that age doesn't mean much. He will tell you with 2 beeps when he's ready to be replaced. 2, there is no battery backup in here unless you've got this wired for battery backup, but NewCamp doesn't do it that way. You could very easily disconnect these cables, hook 1 wire to your battery, 1 wire to your trailer, and you would have battery backup. The good part about that is he would always be protecting. The bad part about that is he would always be aging. So you choose. This is why NewCamp decided to do this. Many people will tell you in the forums that I hear this chirping going on. And most often it's not this detector that's making the chirping, it's the smoke detector up near the roof that's giving you the sound. And it's such a small space that people confuse where the sound's coming from. But a single beep coming out of this is not trying to tell you that your battery is low. This guy won't single beep if your battery's disconnected or if your battery's dead. If your battery's dead and this thing is below 8 volts, he's done. You're done, right? The 6 volt level here, he completely shuts off. So he's not going to be the thing telling you I've got a single beep. If you're hearing a single beep and it's coming out of here and you push the reset and it doesn't clear it, he's dead. You need to replace him. I think that's all we need to go over. Been a little long, lot of speaking here. But I wanted to get this all clear to you and keep you safe. So take care and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.